Hello and welcome. And today is a new week filled with new shows and new shows anyway, new episodes. But today's Monday and time to talk about Higehiro episode 8. Yes, we are on episode 8 of Higehiro, and I gotta say, I'm not surprised. I feel like this episode was paced to the point where we're gonna reveal Sayu's past, and we're gonna get that next week. The thing is, it's just that this episode has so much, like, to that point where it's just like, yeah, we knew this was gonna happen. So it wasn't a big deal for me to say, oh my God, I can't wait to see this. But we knew this was going to happen. We knew that the timing of it was there. We knew that it was so, like, obvious how it's gonna lead to a cliffhanger and all that stuff. But what I'm trying to say overall, like, this episode was good. It just, we knew this was gonna happen. Like, they could have just let it lead a little more, but who am I to be judging? So without further ado, here's my review of Higehiro episode 8 review. Let's do it. So it's about Sayu right now. So Sayu's, after last week finding out the brother and not showing the new character, Yoshida's ex-girlfriend, which they should have had, we are now at that point where we're just like, okay, let's see where the route goes with Sayu and Yoshida's relationship and other characters along the way. So Sayu, after encountering with her older brother, that's another wall that she has to break down. Like, she broke down her wall, when she encountered the guy that slept with her. So he's a really okay guy now. He's actually okay. And now the older brother, but I'm gonna get to that. So what I mean by rush, I mean, like, he had a summer festival, but the only thing it had was the first half of it was Mishima, the girl who has the office worker who has a crush on our beloved MC character. So Mishima and Sayu, they just met they just met outside, and then Sayu was hiding from him because he saw her older brother there. So they decided to go to a karaoke, the place that they doubt they're gonna find him. So here's the thing about Mishima and Sayu confrontation to that episode. That conversation was so interesting because Yuzuha is saying, like, oh, what do you think of Yoshida? Do you like Yoshida? Do you like him as a brother? Do you like him as a boyfriend? Like, what's your actual relationship about him? What's your actual thing about him? Like, what do you like about him? Do you know anything about him? What is your actual relationship to him? Sayu, the way how Sayu answers all these questions, it's like Sayu knew that it is nothing to do with the relationship. Like, I'm not in an actual relationship. He's that type of person who look out for people in many ways, That's what Sayu is saying overall, in her way. But Mishima still don't believe that. Like, she still, like, the way how Yoshida came into the room and then picked Sayu up, and her reaction, Mishima's reaction says it all. Like, like, she was crying after they left. She started crying and say, "I love you, but you don't look at me like that." She was crying in tears. And the thing is, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew she was gonna cry, but I don't know what Mishima's like. Why are you getting jealous of a high school girl? Like, I understand you crying, or I can understand that, but for you to be jealous of a high school girl, it's kind of like ridiculous. I mean, like, if you want to accept your feelings, go for it. I mean, think about it. You're in the office with him. You could speak to him in the break room or something like that, but you have that opportunity to express your feelings, and yet you're not doing it. It's okay to cry it out. I can, like I said, I understand she's crying because her love is still strong. She still loves him, but still, you gotta break the mold. You gotta express your feelings to him, but do it in a way that you feel is right. Now, the summer festival thing, it was nice. It was nice to see Yoshida and Sayu in a summer festival, having a good time and enjoying the fireworks. Plus, we got to see Sayu in a yukata outfit. So, it was great. It was great. And the thing is, I know why they did that. I know why they did that because last week we had a Don't Tour With Me Nakatoro, you know, that dark skinned gal who messed with her senpai, and they had that episode with the summer festival with her friends. So it's kind of, I can see why they did that. But the summer festival thing was really natural. I mean, I like the friendship. It's showing us that they have a bigger friendship than not in a relationship. I mean, Sayu admitted that, oh, if I was an adult, would you take care of me? We'd probably have sex or whatnot. Cause looking at Yoshida, Yoshida's like, we get to see a glimmer of his somewhat of a, like, being alone all the time, because he's always alone when he wakes up. He always alone when he's in the table. He always alone when he comes in, and it's like there's no one to talk to or hang out with when he gets home. So seeing him, like, if I haven't met Saya, I would have been alone for so long. I want to have time to live my own life. I probably won't have time to meet someone like Sayu or not. So that's the idea. So the thing is, I see what it's the friendship between those two is there. And Yoshida I don't know why, but part of me is saying there's two sides of a coin here. On the one side, Yoshida sees Sayu as a potential daughter to have, like taking care of her and all that stuff. On the other side, the relationship now could be even better. It's like getting there. And even if they're in a friendship mode, I want them to stay in the friendship mode. Oh, by the way, but Mishima, I don't know this whole Higehiro thing, because it's like, is this a love triangle, or is this just problems between an office worker who got dumped and now the boss has a crush on her, or is it about Sayu, who's down on her luck, sleeping with other men, changing her names on a regular basis just to find a place to stay that could be actually her home. So again, are we living a love triangle or just like a common ground here? But man, talk about an ending with the cliffhanger with the brother, Sayu's brother, just automatically found the apartment and said, "Is Sayu here? I can take her home." And that's how it ended. The thing is, I don't know how did he know where he lives? That's my question. It's like two things here. One, how does he know? How does Sayu's brother knew that she worked at a convenience store? And two, how does she know that she was in the area with Mashima? And three, here's the third one. Three, how does he know that Sayu was living in Yoshida's apartment? There are many questions that needs to be answered this one. And I got a theory that Mashima was the one that kind of told Sayu's older brother where he lives. You know what I mean? I got this. This is part of me that said, you know what? Either I know he's rich, but part of me either he looked up the information or probably spoken to people like, hey, there's a missing child. Have you seen her? And then I think Mishima told him, but I don't know what, but there's more answers to be solved about that one. Now, next week is the past. Next week is past. We're finally gonna see Sayu's backstory as to what made Sayu what she is. What made her drove off? What made her to a point where she's like, okay, I'm running away, I'm gonna sleep with other men and all that stuff. Like, all that shit is gonna happen in one episode next week. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, I like these episodes. This is what I like characters where they have a backstory and we get that understanding as to what that character is and why and how. So this is great. This is great because now we're gonna see what made Sayu drove off and all that stuff. It's gonna be one of those dark. I sense something dark is gonna happen. A dark story into her past, and I'm gonna express that next week. But like I said, this episode was pretty much. It was good. It was good, but obvious. In other words, this episode 8 of Higehiro was good, but everything up to this point was straight up obvious. It was so obvious that, okay, the brother's gonna find Sayu. It was so obvious. It was obvious that Mishima is gonna cry over Yoshida. So you know what I mean? Like, everything led to this point was so freaking obvious, and that's why I said, you know what? I see where this plot is going. The pacing of it is getting there. So, I'll say by 12 or 11, Sayu and Yoshida's relationship could be like this. Probably not. We'll see how this goes. So thank you. So I look forward for next week's episode of Higehiro with Sayu's past. It's gonna be one of those talked about shows of episode of Higehiro. So let's see how this works. I look forward to it, and I hope you will.